Dear students, I, Mr. Vishal Shah, Assistant Professor, Krishna Institute of Pharmacy, Karad, once again welcome you all to another session of practical. In this video, we are going to perform the fourth practical, that is the synthesis of benzoic acid from benzyl chloride. In previous videos also we have seen few practicals like synthesis of M-dinitrobenzene. Also we have synthesized parabromoacetylide. Now if you are coming first time to this my YouTube channel, you can watch previous videos, and if you like the content of this video, then you can subscribe and share with your friends to get more videos related to the pharmaceutical organic chemistry. So let's start with our today's session, that is the synthesis of benzoic acid from benzyl chloride. Now this video is covered in two parts. In first part we will see background, that is the chemical reaction, what is the principle involved in the synthesis of benzoic acid from benzyl chloride, and in second part we will see actual how we are going to perform this practical in the lab by virtual lab technique. So let's start with today's session. Now this is the chemical reaction that is involved in the synthesis of benzoic acid from benzyl chloride. Now here you can see that this is the benzyl chloride. Here benzyl chloride, when reacted in presence of sodium carbonate and potassium permanganate, first it will be converted into benzyl alcohol. Further, this benzyl alcohol will be converted into the benzoic acid. Means benzyl chloride is converted into benzoic acid with the help of the oxidation reaction. Here oxidation reaction proceeds through the formation of benzyl alcohol, which is consisting of a primary alcoholic functional group. So simple oxidation reaction is there. You may have knowledge about the different oxidation reactions of primary alcohols, secondary alcohols, tertiary alcohols. So when primary alcohols undergo oxidation, they will be converted into aldehydes, and further these aldehydes further undergo the oxidation and they will be converted into the carboxylic acid. So this simple reaction is involved in this particular synthesis. But before that, benzyl chloride, here this benzyl chloride means the whatever this benzene group is there, which is having this alkyl group and this chlorinated alkyl group, you can say, due to the presence of chlorinated alkyl group, this oxidation reaction can be performed faster. Now if we carry out the oxidation of the aromatic compound which is having a aliphatic side chain, then the bond will be broken down at the side chain between the first carbon atom and the second carbon atom. Means here there will be breaking of this particular bond will take place when the oxidation is taking place at the side chain. Now here if we use only alkyl group, that is the, for example, toluene, when only alkyl groups are present in the side chain, it is quite difficult to perform that particular this reaction because the reaction rate is very slow. But if chlorinated or the halogenated group is present to the alkyl group, then we can perform these reactions at quite a faster speed. So here that's why we are going to use the benzyl chloride. This reaction can be performed in presence of nitric acid also, which is used as a oxidizing agent. So this is the principle and the chemical reaction that is involved in the synthesis of benzoic acid, where benzyl chloride in presence of sodium carbonate, first it will be converted into the benzyl alcohol, then this alcoholic functional group undergo oxidation in presence of potassium permanganate, which leads into the formation of the benzoic acid. Now after this we will see the procedure involved in this particular synthesis. Now here this is the procedure. First point, place 5 gram, we have to convert it into the ml because this benzyl chloride is liquid, of benzyl chloride and 4 gram of anhydrous sodium carbonate in 50 ml of water, and mixed in a round bottom flask attached to a reflux condenser and boiled gently. Now I request you can write down this procedure so that you will get idea that how we are going to perform the different steps during the actual virtual practical. Then second point, a solution of 8 gram of potassium permanganate in 150 ml of water is gradually dropped in the form of a dropping funnel pushed through the top of the condenser. Means in second point, after attaching reflux condenser, we are going to carry out the addition of 8 gram of potassium permanganate in 150 ml of water as a solution. Now, in course of 2 to 3 hours, the pink color of permanganate will have vanished and been replaced by a mass of dark brown precipitate of the manganese dioxide. Means after 2 to 3 hours, what happens? Pink color of permanganate will be vanished, it will disappear, and there will be formation of manganese dioxide will takes place. Now, when the liquid is cold, a stream of sulfur dioxide is passed until the manganese dioxide is dissolved as a manganese sulfate. Here there are two ways. Either we can add the solution of sodium sulfite, or we can pass a stream of sulfur dioxide. It is quite difficult to pass the sodium sulfur dioxide stream. So here we are going to employ the addition of sodium sulfite. What happens when sodium sulfite is added? Whatever this manganese dioxide that is formed, this manganese dioxide will react with the sodium sulfite, which leads into the formation of manganese sulfide, which is soluble, and our benzoic acid will be separated from the manganese dioxide. For that purpose, we are going to use the sodium sulfite, or a stream of sulfur dioxide is passed. Okay, so when the liquid is cold, a stream of sulfur dioxide is passed until manganese dioxide is dissolved as a manganese sulfate. Now, the liquid is allowed to cool, and the benzoic acid, which separates, is filtered, washed with a little cold water, and then recrystallization is carried out from hot water to give us a final product. Then we will determine the melting point, report percentage yield and melting point. So this is about the procedure involved in the today's synthesis. Now let's begin with our today's synthesis, where the first point is we are going to take 5 gram of benzyl chloride, which will be converted to the liquid, say for example 5 ml, then 4 gram of anhydrous sodium carbonate. They will be placed in the RBF, which is containing 50 ml of water. Then we are going to attach a reflux condenser and then boil gently. So let's begin our today's session. Here you can see the assembly that is required for our performing the practical. Here you can see RBF, this is your burner, reflux condenser. Then today we will require chemicals like benzyl chloride, anhydrous sodium carbonate. Okay, so now the first point is we are going to use a 5 ml of benzyl chloride, which is placed in our RBF. So here you can see we are taking the bottle of the benzyl chloride, we are removing the cap, then we are taking this pipette. With the help of the pipette, we are measuring 5 ml of benzyl chloride, which will be placed in the RBF. Then second point is that we are going to carry out the addition of anhydrous sodium carbonate. 4 gram of anhydrous sodium carbonate is required. Here you can see we have taken the bottle of anhydrous sodium carbonate. Then with the help of the spatula, we are taking the actual quantity of the anhydrous sodium carbonate by accurately weighing. Suppose we have taken 4 gram of the anhydrous sodium carbonate, and then we are going to add it into our RBF. After this, means we have prepared a mixture of benzyl chloride, then anhydrous sodium carbonate and a 50 ml of the water. After this, we are going to place a reflux condenser, and then we are going to carry out the heating. After boiling gently, next step is that we are going to carry out the addition of potassium permanganate solution. 8 gram of potassium permanganate solution is taken in 150 ml of the water. So here you can see that already we have prepared that solution of potassium permanganate, 8 gram of potassium permanganate, which is dissolved in the 150 ml of water. Potassium permanganate solution is having a purple color. So this potassium permanganate solution, that is the 150 ml of that solution, is added gradually. Don't add all the solution at a time. In parts, we are going to carry out the addition of this potassium permanganate solution. So here you can see that we are going to carry out the addition of the potassium permanganate solution. Once we have added the potassium permanganate solution, our color of the reaction mixture becomes purple. That is, it acquires the color of the potassium permanganate. Once all the potassium permanganate solution is added, we have to keep this particular reaction mixture for 2 to 3 hours. Means we have to carry out the heating of this reaction mixture about 2 to 3 hours. Once 2 to 3 hours reaction mixture is happen, then whatever the potassium permanganate color is there, it will be vanished. All potassium permanganate will be converted into the manganese oxide. At that time, we have to carry out the stop the reaction, that we have to remove the burner. So here after 2 to 3 hours, we are going to remove this burner, remove this reflux condenser. So once the color of potassium permanganate is vanished, then we are going to carry out the addition of the sodium sulfide. Actually, once the color of potassium permanganate is vanished, there will be formation of benzoic acid crystals will take place, but we are not able to see these crystals because manganese dioxide that is formed is having the brown color, and due to which it is quite difficult to identify, to see the crystals of the benzoic acid. So here in this solution we are going to carry out the addition of sodium sulfide liquid. So here you can see that we are going to carry out the addition of sodium sulfide. Once sodium sulfide solution is added, whatever the manganese dioxide that is formed, it will be gets dissolved, and the benzoic acid crystals that are formed, they will be appeared. Once you will see these benzoic acid crystals, then next step is that we are going to perform the recrystallization by using the hot water. So let's see how we are going to perform this recrystallization. For recrystallization purpose, we are going to use hot water or boiling water as a solvent. So you can see that we have taken these crystals that are obtained of the benzoic acid in water, required a quantity of the water. Then we are going to carry out the heating of that particular this solution. Now we will place this burner. Now we know that we are going to select a recrystallization solvent in such a way that there will be the compound will be soluble in hot condition and it will be insoluble in the cold condition, so that this benzoic acid is soluble into hot water or boiling water and it is insoluble in the cold water condition. So in initial phase, what happens when our solution is in cold condition, whatever soluble impurities are there, these soluble impurities will be dissolved in the water. After that, once we will start the heating of that particular solution, solid crystals will be melted down and it will be converted into the liquid. Now, due to which what happens, whatever insoluble impurities are there, they will be separated from the benzoic acid. Once the solution is hot, we are going to filter it as it is. When the solution is hot, due to which what happens, benzoic acid crystals will be going into the solubilized form into the beaker. So insoluble impurities will be filtered out and it will remain on the filter paper, and the benzoic acid will be separated from the insoluble impurities. Now our beaker is consisting of soluble impurities and the benzoic acid. Once our solution is cool, then the crystals of the benzoic acid will reappear and it will be separated from our soluble impurities. In this way, we can carry out the recrystallization to carry out the purification of the product. After recrystallization, next step is that we are going to carry out the determination of the melting point. So let's see how we will determine the melting point of that particular compound. Now, before starting with the determination of melting point, just we will dry our product, and that dried product should be used for the determination of melting point. We will dry the product in the hot air oven. After complete drying of our product, we will determine the melting point by using the Thales tube. So this is the assembly which is consisting of burner, Thales tube, a thermometer which is having attached capillary tube which is consisting of our product. Now For determination of melting point, as you know, we are going to carry out the heating of this particular solution at the side arm of this Thales tube. This is known as the side arm of the Thales tube. The side arm of the Thales tube is heated because our product will not get the direct heating, so that the temperature of the particular that oil will not increase rapidly. For that purpose, we are going to perform the heating at the side arm of that particular Thales tube. Once we have determined the melting point, then we are going to perform the actual calculation part. Now, in this practical, this reaction, what we have utilized benzyl chloride, we have converted it into the benzoic acid. Now, as we know, to calculate the theoretical yield, practical yield, we need to calculate the molecular weight of this particular compound. So, first we will convert it into molecular formula. Molecular formula of benzyl chloride is C7H7Cl, and molecular formula of benzoic acid is C7H6O2. Now, if we calculate the benzyl chloride, then it will become the 126.5, and benzoic acid is having molecular formula of 122. Now, suppose, now here we have taken 5 grams of benzyl chloride. So, what is the meaning of this? If we take 126.5 gram of benzyl chloride, we will get 122 gram of the benzoic acid, theoretically. Now, here we have taken 5 grams of benzyl chloride. So, we have to calculate how much amount of benzoic acid that we will obtain, that we will consider as a X. So, by cross multiplication, X is equal to 122 into 5 divided by 126. So, here we will get 4.82 gram of the benzoic acid. This is known as the theoretical yield. Suppose we got the practical yield 3 grams, means the product that is obtained after weighing, after completion of the practical, that is known as the practical yield, that is the 3 gram. So, the percentage yield is calculated by using formula practical yield divided by theoretical yield into 100. So, 3 divided by 4.82 into 100, it becomes 62.24% weight by weight. So, this is the percentage yield of the benzoic acid that is obtained by synthesis from the benzyl chloride. The result should be tabulated in the form of this: theoretical yield is equal to 4.82 gram, practical yield is equal to 3 gram, percentage yield is equal to 62.24% weight by weight, melting point is equal to 120 degree Celsius. So, this is about the result that is obtained by performing the synthesis of benzoic acid from benzyl chloride. So, here we have completed the synthesis of benzoic acid from benzyl chloride. If you like the content of this video, you can share with friends, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you can watch the previous videos of this particular pharmaceutical organic chemistry also. Thank you.